Hey monkeys, how you doing? Damian Keys here. It is time for another social media review. I'm gonna start to incorporate other social medias as well as just Facebook, although I do really want to sort of dig down into these Facebooks. So I'm starting to see some bands actually implementing some of the stuff that we're talking about, which is great. But there's still a lot of work to do. So the whole purpose of this is I'm actually taking Facebooks, especially, and social media, and actually telling you what to do and making examples so that you can then take that examples and put them into your own Facebook. Now, I am looking through Facebook for bands, especially, every single day, and I'm yet to see one Facebook that I'm absolutely blown away by. I see good things and bad things, but you guys are not finished when it comes to your Facebook stuff. So this is what you can do. So today is probably number 5 or 6. We've done this for a few weeks. So before you do anything with this, if you haven't seen any of the other Facebook reviews, because I'm starting to look at little niches and little angles. If you haven't seen any, what you need to do is you need to go on the YouTube and start to actually go back through these Facebook reviews and actually implement the stuff that we've already talked about, because it's important. So don't just watch this and go, okay, that's really, really good because there's an angle. Go back and watch the others and actually start to implement the things that we're talking about. And it's just youtube.com/Damian Keys. And while you're there, subscribe, because I like you more, genuinely, if you do that. Right, so today I am doing a Facebook review of a band called Arcane, which sounds like one of the baddies of Mortal Kombat. So finish him. So I've put in Arcane. Now Arcane is a funny name because if someone just says Arcane, that could be spelled in so many different ways. So you do have to be a bit careful. I happen to know the spelling, so I've put it in, but it's something that when it comes to thinking of a name for your band, you do have to be a bit careful. But these guys got in touch and said, check it out, love some help, love some support with the Facebook. That's what I'm here for. So I brought them up. Now, cutting straight to the point, we want to do first impressions. That's the most important thing. I'm loving the green. I love the color. It's fantastic. Pops up, says, we are a band. Love that. Now, if you've seen any of the Facebook reviews, you will know the first thing that we do when it comes to first impressions is answer the question, who are you? On as many levels as we can. Who is Arcane? That's what I want to know. So I can definitely see they're a band because there's 4 dudes on a stage in the old band brothers hug thing, which I like. So that's good. So I know they're a band. The next thing though of the question is, you're a band, but what sort of band? One of the guys has got a Metallica t-shirt on, so I'm like, okay, maybe they're a metal band, I suppose. I wonder what sort of music they play. But, you know, a decent picture. I like the way the green all kind of themes throughout with their logo. I think that's quite cool. The next thing is there's no call to action. Now this is something we've talked about a few times, and we need a call to action. Whatever that call to action is, a call to action is saying this is what you do next. So in the world of marketing, when you push someone to a website, when you push someone to a Facebook, when you're pushing someone to your social media, they are going there to answer those questions and then say, right, what do I do next? What do you want me to do next? So you need to steer people through the Facebook. You need to steer people through the social media. So at the moment, it has got a call to action which says call now, and it has a telephone number. The only thing is that's like a bathroom wall. Call now. What for? What am I getting if I call? If I call and just say, hey, is that Arcane? And he goes, yeah. And I go, brilliant. That's all I've got. I don't know what he wants me to call about, so therefore we've just got a number. So the call to action is not specific enough. So this is what I would do with a call to action. I'd keep Arcane with the logo, brilliant. But when it comes across to the big banner, I would definitely have a simple call to action, which you can change regularly. It could be an upcoming gig, a tour, an album that's come out. It could be that you're pushing them to buy some merchandise. It could be that you're pushing them to listen to a certain song. But either way, there needs to be a call to action which says, this is what we're pushing right now, effectively. So when it comes to this is what you need to do next, it should relate to that very first impression. First impression on this stuff is everything. If these guys have just, if someone's heard about a band from a friend, have you heard about Arcane? No, I haven't heard about Arcane. I'll go and check them out, they're really, really good. First impressions, when it loads up, is so important. So I want to have that call to action. Now at the moment, I'm still looking around for, I know it's a band, and the next thing is, who are we? Who are we dealing with here? Who are you, effectively? And so what I've got now is I have got a band, but I don't know what style it is. I can't tell. And the name is slightly more kind of, if I was going to say guessing from the name, which is all I've got to do at the moment, with the logo and the name, I'd say it's a bit more dancey. So it's maybe more of a kind of hip-hoppy type dance thing. Arcane to me sounds a bit more kind of, maybe there's some rapping going on, I don't know. So these are things you've got to take into consideration, because if this turns out to be a metal band, then Arcane, the name, doesn't quite sum up the vibe that well. So as we scroll down, we start to get to the next bunch of points. The numbers, pretty decent. If they're sort of band, I know they're quite young, and I know these guys are relatively new. So in that case, they've done their job. They've invited their friends. They've got people down to their gigs, because I've seen the pictures, which we'll see in a minute. So the numbers are okay. That's fine. Then it's got featured for you. I can see a gig, a local gig. That's good. And another gig there. 95% response rate. I think you could probably up that. I think when you've got 1,000 followers and 1,000 engagement, when you're getting up to 5 to 10 messages per day, there's no reason why you can't answer every single one, because it just gives off just that impression. So I would go back into your messages, and I would look into anyone that you haven't responded to, and I would just message them back, even if it's just saying, brilliant, yeah, thanks very much, just because it does count on that 95% response rate. Now, when you get to the point where you physically can't do it, there's not a lot you can do. But at this stage, 500 likes, 95% response rate, I think that could probably be upped. And then any promoters or any people will know that 100% response rate, if I actually get in touch with you, you definitely will get back to me. Just gives off a nice impression. Okay, so we scroll down, we get some pictures. Now this is good here, 500 likes, celebrating the 500 likes thing, that's quite good. There's some live pictures, which look really, really good. And then there's, coming down to the videos, there's 3 videos. Now this gives it away, so look. So the videos are Teenage Kicks. Okay, so it's a cover, that's good. Bet you look good on the dance floor, cover. Are you gonna be my girl? So I'm like, brilliant. Okay, so it's a cover band, I get that. So now we're going, right, so it's a cover band, but it doesn't say. Now, I don't know, because I haven't talked to the guys, I don't know if it is a cover band. It might just be that those 3 videos are from a gig that they did. They might be doing covers and they might be doing originals. So this is why it's really important, right at the top, at the very first thing, to make it very, very clear and obvious who you are and what you do. And if you are a covers band from Essex, you say modern pop rock covers band from Essex. If you are saying, oh no, we do covers to fill out our set, but we're originals band, that's what we want to do long term, you say originals band from Essex. You make it clear, or you make it clearer. So I think that's something you can definitely do. But I like the fact they've got 500 likes. They've done a little kind of like, that's really nice. We've got that. We've got some pictures, which we'll get to in a minute. We've got some videos. So I'm going to pick one, watch a little bit of a video. Good.
We're getting to the second half of our performance now.
Crowd's good. They got people there.
This is much energy as the first part. This one's called I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor. Sing it if you know it.
Right. Bit of a gap here. Just when you're doing live stuff, just be careful that if there's a gap, it's for a reason. Tuning is not a good enough reason. If you've got a gap, it's because you're having to do a changeover and the front man is going to say something. Otherwise, drum's great. Loads of energy. Crowd are digging it. It's great. This is really, really good. Love it. I like how his cymbals are up here. That's brilliant. Great. Feels good, sounds good. All the bits are there. Sings great. Brilliant. Okay, so I can see that these guys are taking people down to their gig and they're really tight and they're putting a lot of work in. That is fantastic. So the band is great. So the main thing I need to know now, which hopefully I'll get from scrolling down, is what's the purpose to the band? What is the next step for the band? What are we pushing? What are we doing? Is it to make money as musicians so we can actually support ourselves and build experience? Is it that this is an originals band and does some covers, or will be an originals band but at the moment is just doing covers whilst you kind of write your material? Whatever it is, that's the message that we need to get across. That's the story. And again, we always say about the story, this journey, the story is very, very important. So I would like to see what the band is. I would like to see what is the journey that you're aiming towards. What do you want to get out of doing this? And people then can come on that journey, because at the moment it seems like a covers band, and it's more like we're going to play some songs, come down and see us. Pinned event. So a pinned event is a gig. Now that says it was added on the 24th of June, but the event is on the 28th of July. So that is 36 days time. It's good to be publicizing events, but you've only had 4 likes. So at the moment, I think there's probably better ways that there's more things that you could do in between that whilst you're promoting this event. So it's quite a long time for that one to be sitting there above everything else. So I'd be careful when you're pinning something. If this is going to be the biggest gig, then I'd make more of a big deal of it. I don't think you should just say, got a gig, I'll whack that there. I would say we need this to be an absolutely massive gig. So therefore we're going to push it, we're going to talk about it, we're going to have videos of it, we're going to ask people to come down. I think making more of a big deal. I think one thing, having had a very, very brief look through this Facebook, I think that's the main thing, is what I call squeezing the lemon. It's basically, there's too many things which are brushed across that you just go, by the way, here's the thing, by the way, here's the thing. And I think you can really delve down into this stuff. So why are people going to come down to that gig? What are you going to do differently? What is it that they're going to get out of it? And it should come from you rather than just a poster. So then we've got the 500 likes thing. The 500 likes thing is cool, but again, same thing. I think if you are going to do a 500 likes thing and it says thank you from the band, its management and production, as a thank you, we're bringing to you Show's Over. Hear this debut at Canvey Island on the 28th of July. So basically, it's more of about us than it is about you. And I think you could reverse that into a much bigger thank you. So rather than saying we've got that 500 and as a thank you we're going to do a gig, I think what I'd probably do is I'd probably do a video from the band, and I'd probably just say, do you know what, we've got to 500 likes a lot quicker than we thought we would. We're really happy, we're really excited, we just want to say thank you and we want to give you something. And I think the video itself feels more of a kind of a real thank you. And then when it comes to actually what you're going to give them, I think that needs to be thought out. If it's going to be a gig, then it's going to be a come and party with us to celebrate. We'd really love to see you there, and we're going to play, and then we're going to come out and just meet you guys. We're going to chat. We're going to just build relationships and have fun together. So it's a bit more of a we're all in this together rather than thank you for the 500 likes and why don't you come to our gig? So we get the likes plus we get the gig. I think you could probably switch it around and make it a bit more to do with the audience. Upcoming events, we've got that. Now this is quite cool. A little feature in the paper saying that they're playing at a football club, and it's a sad story about a memory of a 12-year-old who died. And I think that's a lovely piece. Again, I think it's probably 10 to 20% of what you could get out of this. I think you could definitely, not that you want to sort of dwell on the sad bits, but I think the fact that you are doing this, the fact that you're in the paper, the fact that you feel strongly about this gig, I think there's more of a story there than just we're in the paper. I think you can actually delve down a bit deeper into this. So I think that's the thing. Now, again, going back to the gig, more gigs. So at the moment, it's very push social media, very much gig. Now here's something, on the 2nd of April, now bearing in mind that we are on the 10th of July, on the 10th of April, there are some wicked pictures. So this is from a gig, Andy Wild Photography, he's taken some pictures. The pictures look great, the band looks wicked, really love these. This needs to be featured loads and loads more, because I think these are wicked pictures of the guys. The guys doing their thing, they're really young, lots of energy, and I'd like to see more of the crowd. I think that's quite an important thing, but everything looks amazing. So these are great pictures. I think these pictures probably should be more. Look at that, B flat. That is, everyone loves a good old B flat, and that is a B flat, and he is going for it. If you don't know what note to play, slow down to B flat. So pictures, good. So then there's more pictures. So again, going back then a little bit further, this is the 1st of April. So we've got loads of pictures from the 1st of April, loads of pictures from the 2nd of April. So those pictures don't appear again. So then 2 months later, we haven't really got any really good pictures. So, and this is what people want to see. They want to see the visuals. They want to see the story. I feel like this is the thing. I feel like instead of having stories, we're kind of just dipping into something and then coming back out of it. Dipping into something rather than actually ripping something apart and delving in, squeezing the lemon and saying, here's what we're doing at the gig. Here's why we're doing it. You know, I think one thing I would love to see, and I'll come back to that in a minute. I want to just flip across before I say this. I want to start looking at a few other little bits of social media just to see where we're at. So they're on Twitter, you can see it. The good thing with this is because of the name in green, and you can't miss them, so that's good. I found them straight away when it came to finding them on Twitter. This picture here pops up. What an amazing picture that is. That should be everywhere. I think that's a wicked picture. So I think there should be more pictures, because there's some good pictures on the Twitter that aren't on the Facebook. Don't forget, you can throw anything at Facebook. It's a lot more versatile than a lot of the other social media platforms. So the Twitter is just a bit sparse. I think you need to think about Twitter. If you want to get into Twitter, there's your 33% rule, the thirds rule, and that third is your own content, other people's content, and then engaging. So your content, which is your pictures, your gigs, your way of actually your take on things, but then spend a third of time actually getting other people's stuff out there and saying, look, we really endorse this, or we really like this, or this is really funny, or this is good, and people will buy into that as well. And then the other third then is actually talking to people. And so what people tend to do is they tend to stick to the first third and just go, here's our stuff, 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 and then it doesn't grow because it's too insular. So, and it says 20 tweets. Well, I mean, you could do that nowadays in a day easily. So if you do, this is the thing about what platforms you choose to be on. If you choose to be on a platform, you got to back it up. So if you're going to be on Twitter, I want to see engagement. I want to see talking to people. I want to see starting conversations. I want to see competitions. I want to see questions. I want to see pictures. I want to see videos. I want to see all the creative things that you could put into it. Otherwise, if not, I'd whack off the Twitter. Otherwise, I'd sack it off. So, but I would, keep it for the moment. Then Instagram's looking decent. The main thing with Instagram, I would say, is when I click on a picture, I would tell more of a story. So I think, don't forget, when you're doing Instagram, things you have got is you can write a mini blog on Instagram. So use that. It's about utilizing as much as possible. So when you upload a picture, you can write about it, and it just says Chinneries or Chinneries, whatever it is, in Southend, 31st to the 3rd to the 17th. That could be embellished so much more. We had such a great time at this gig, and thank you so much for everyone coming down. This was halfway during Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor, and a funny thing happened during the song, a pedal broke, or whatever you want it to be. It's telling that little story rather than just saying that's where it was in this time. And then you've got obviously your hashtags. Hashtags are good, but there are plenty on here which don't have enough hashtags. This one is a classic example. Chinnery's Southend, 31st to the 3rd, 17, hashtag Arcane Band. That could have 20 different hashtags, because hashtags are okay for Instagram. And if you want to, you can even then comment and put a bunch of hashtags in, and that'll help as well. But I think hashtags is the way people are going to find you. And when you do it, don't be too vague. Don't just put rock band, because it's just millions of people are putting that. Think more about your hashtags and have stuff like Canvey Island, have the venue, have things that will stick around for a long time, and song titles and things like that, which show off what the band's story is. So I would go back into your Instagram, I'd add in hashtags, I'd keep those Instagram going. When was this one posted? Because I think a lot of this is about consistency and how often you post. 4 days ago. So, you know, I think one thing is, I think you should be looking at posting something at least every other day, if not every day, if you can. I mean, you can post on social media 5 times a day, and it won't offend lots and lots of people. So you can post more and more stuff. So it doesn't always have to be the big end game. Here's the band on stage. It can just be, you know, the bass player with the guitarist going, oh, here's us just chatting about some ideas, and have a little bit in the blog about what it is you're doing, and then a bunch of hashtags. It doesn't always have to be just that end game. We've all got together, we were playing a gig, here's the picture of the band. So I go into detail. And then with the YouTube, what I wanted to do, unfortunately, on this computer I don't have my TubeBuddy, but on TubeBuddy I can actually see again the meta tags that you put into YouTube. So what I would say with the YouTube is 1 subscriber. We can definitely do better than that. For a start, there should be at least 4 subscribers, because there's 4 people in the band, plus there should be friends, plus there should be family. Don't forget to utilize the people around you, and actually don't say to them in one big group text, please subscribe to our YouTube. Every single time you see someone, say, dude, I need you to subscribe to the YouTube. I need you to do this. This is really important to me. You're my mate, or you're my mum, or you're my auntie, or whatever it is. I need you to do it. And if they say, oh, I don't really go on YouTube, just say, well, just sign up for one and get on it anyway, because these things make a big difference. So one-to-one side of things. And then from the actual playlists, it's just 1 video, but I know there's 4 videos on here. So you've got some work to do on your YouTube. If you're going to put yourself on YouTube, you want to have playlists, you want to have stories, you want to have a journey, you also want to have meta tags, you want to have a good write-up, you want to have good headings. So bet that you look good on a dance floor, which is a slight embellishment, I think, on the title. So I'd get that right. You've got the band name in, which is good. You've got the venue name and you've got the date. Then the write-up, far too small. The write-up, the first 3 lines are the most important. The next bit is still important. So I would have a write-up of the whole thing. So you'd probably be looking at having, I don't know, 3-4 paragraphs at least, if you've only got a couple of videos on, so people can start finding this stuff. And the meta tags need to be very very geography based for you at the moment while you're starting off. You want to have a tag for Look Good on a Dance Floor, you want to have Arcane, you want to have Lobster Smack, you want to have all of those things in there. Arctic Monkeys, covers bands, Canvey Island, all of those things that you can put in there with your meta tags. And you use all of the space for meta tags. If you've got space for 100 meta tags, don't put 3, put 100. That's what they're there for. So good. So go back and do that. So one thing I would like to do with the Facebook is I would like you, and I did this for a reason. I would like you to start thinking about actual comments. So if I put in my blah, 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 blah. If I can find myself, hang on a second. www.facebook.com/Damo Keys. That's me. So if we go to this, now when I pop up, I've done this for a reason, and thank you for everyone who took part, but I'm constantly talking about how you can build your audience, how you can engage, how you can start a conversation, and how you can actually get your own audience to actually start engaging with you more on your Facebook. And I always say it's as simple as this. Say hello. Actually ask people questions rather than just post a picture and then expect them to like it. So one thing I did last week, just to see what it would work, is I just put a question out. So this is the question. It just says, morning, what was the first music you ever bought? What format and where from? Mine was Queen, the Miracle album on vinyl from Woolworths. Go. Now, the comments that I had on this and the engagement was much higher than most of the videos I share, because I'm actually asking for people's opinion. I'm actually asking for people to get involved, and I'm giving them a reason to get involved, which is what do your memory, your nostalgia, your thoughts, all of that kind of stuff actually adds into someone saying, oh yeah, I want to add to something. So I had 57 comments from loads and loads of people just saying, just answering the question. Grace by Jeff Buckley, CD, that's a winner. What else do we have? We had loads. Adam and the Ants, like all different ages, all different times. Some people bought CDs, some people bought vinyl, some people bought cassette tapes. And it was just interesting, and people wanted to get involved, and then they started to actually get involved in each other's conversations. And so you can see the difference between that and when some other videos where I'll put them up, and I know that people are watching them a lot of the time, but they're not commenting or liking. So I know that it's working. I know that people are watching, but I'm not getting the engagement. I put a question out, and all of a sudden people say, yeah, I want to get involved in that. Now you've got to remember Facebook's algorithm, which is if you go quiet on someone else's Facebook, then it takes something big to get them back again, because the Facebook algorithm says when you post something, I don't just show everybody, I show a few people, and if it starts to get some good engagement, I expand it and I expand it and I expand it. So it's up to you to make really good sort of content, which then gets shared, or more importantly liked and engaged, which then opens up the algorithm to more people seeing it. So that's your job, not Facebook's, because we're in Facebook's house, remember. So this is a great way of doing that. Now I know that some of these people here who haven't seen my content for ages, because now that I've got, nearly 12,000 people who like the page, and I know it'll only go out to 1,000 people, so therefore another 10,000 people won't see my content unless I either make something super, super, super awesome which gets liked loads, or unless I actually put some money into the advertising. And because I post up to twice a day, I'm not going to do that every single time because it'll cost a fortune. So in which case I need to actually get some people back into my game, and the way to do that is questions, is doing something that actually invites them to actually take part in it. Because once Andy has a message on my Facebook goes, oh, okay, so you're a bit of buds, you've taken some notes, maybe I'll show you some more content the next time he posts it. So there's more chance of Andy then seeing my content than there was beforehand. And the reason why these people have seen it is because when it started to get comments, then Facebook said, this is quite important. People are obviously commenting on this. This is an important piece of content that people need to see. We'll start to show more of your fan base, more of your audience. And it's grown and grown and grown. And so your job is to keep finding ways to engage people so that you're spreading that sort of viral side of the content you're making, if that makes sense. So I want to go back to Arcane. So a quick summary of things I would like to do, things I would like to see from Arcane, and things I would like you guys to take on board who are watching this. I would like it to say Arcane in the little square box, and I would like it to have a slogan. I'd like to have, whether it's a mission statement or a slogan, it needs to say, what is Arcane? And if it just says Arcane alternative covers band from Canvey Island, at least we know exactly what it is. If then on the banner, what I'd have a call to action. What is it that I would like them to, or what is it that they would like me to do next? I think that's quite important. And if that's just going to be, we've got a gig coming up on the 22nd, then that's fine. Then I want you to go back into all of your messages, and I want you to find any message which hasn't had a reply from you, and I want you to just reply and just say, sorry, I didn't reply. And it can just be yes, or even a thumbs up, whatever it is, it just shows Facebook that you're actually responding, and get that up to 95%, get that up to 100%. Next thing I want you to do is I want you to make a video. And that video is the next time you get together, I want you to tell your audience what it is that you are working towards long term. So it can just be whoever's the most confident, probably the singer, talking into the camera and just saying, Guys, we really, really appreciate it. We've hit 500 likes recently. We're really chuffed. We're really excited. We love what we do. And we just wanted to let you know what it is that we're working towards. Whether that's we want to be gigging 3 times a week and we want to be, we want to take over the world, we want to write original songs, whatever it is, make it so that people can actually take part in the journey. And part of the journey is knowing where we're going with this. So I would do a little video like that so that it's on there. That people can actually watch and say, I get where they're going now. I'd make more of a deal with the pictures because there's some really, really good pictures on here and they're all lumped together. So you could even do like throwback to the last gig, or when you're promoting the next gig, one thing I would do is instead of having this same picture for the Canvey FC thing, because people have seen that from all your audience, what I would do is I'd start taking some pictures and say, a bit like the Friends thing, the time when the bass player fell over, why don't you come and see if he does it again on the next gig, or that time that the drummer got mobbed by people whilst he was playing. Next gig is on the 19th. So I think I would make more of a deal of the pictures you've got and how you can actually start to regurgitate them back into the Facebook whilst getting a message across, because I think it's better than just having the same picture, which we've got again here and a couple of times as we scroll down, and again there, and then we scroll down and again there, and again there. So I'd start to regurgitate these really good pictures and telling little stories about them. Don't forget, storytelling is that's what this is all about. We're telling stories. So I'm such a big fan of bands that can tell a story with a picture, but if you can't, because it's very difficult, then write it up. Put the picture on as a draw them in, and then write a little story underneath and just say, this was a funny thing that happened, and people will read it and they'll engage with you. And then after that, what I'd like to do is I'd like to see 2 things. I'd like to see questions. And I'd like to see, secondly, on top of that, I'd like to see questions which involve your audience. And so here's one way you can do it. If you are doing covers and you want people to come down to Canvey Island on the 28th of July to this football gig, then what I would do is I would do a little competition, and I would say, I would say, what song would you like to see us add to the set? Option A is blah, option B is blah, option C is blah. The song with the most votes wins, and we will learn it and we'll play it for you. It's just ways that you can actually start to draw people into your world. Instead of it being about you, it's about them, them and you're bringing them value, as it were. So that's what I'd like to see. So I'd like to see questions, and the questions could simply be, what was number 1 on the day you were born? Or it could be, who'd win in a fight? The singer from Kings of Leon or the singer from The Killers? It could be anything like that, which just is a bit more entertaining and fun rather than come to our gig. So I'd like to see more of that, and it doesn't have to be every day, but stop thinking that Facebook needs to be this very professional, you get that a lot with the professional thing. When it came to the 500 thing, one thing I noticed here, this is classic bands, it says, thank you from the band, its management and production. That's lovely, but nobody gives a shit about the production and nobody gives a shit about the management. What they actually care about is the band. That's the way it works. So what happens when you've got 500 likes and it's saying band and management and production is it's almost saying, we're bigger than we actually are. And people don't like that. I think what would be better off to do is just have a video just being like, oh dudes, seriously, amazing, so chuffed. So when it comes to the way you act on your Facebook, you don't have to be crazy professional. You can't be unprofessional, but this is just like a lot of the stuff that you would post on a normal Facebook. The fact that you're excited to come and do a gig, or the fact that there's a picture of you guys being like, I loved that gig, it was fantastic, So it doesn't have to be phone manner, as I would call it. When you pick up the phone, all of a sudden you've got a different voice and you're like, hello, Damian speaking. It's like, we don't need that on Facebook. What we need, it needs to be real. And you guys are a really good, tight band, really young, exciting, vibey. This is working. So the next thing to do is actually how you're going to make it more fun for the audience. And that's it. That's what I want you to do this week. There's not a lot, there's a bunch of information in there that I would like to see rolled out. So the next person that comes through to me and says, go for it, tear my Facebook apart. You know what it's like now. I'm pulling less punches because you guys have seen 4, 5, 6 of these. So, you know, the first few was a little bit tentative. Now we can really get down into some details. So if you are going to message me and say, tear my Facebook apart, then make sure you've done the stuff that we've already talked about. Otherwise, we're going back to square one. I don't want to do that. So hopefully that helps. I want everybody to go and think about those points and actually implement them. And once you're implementing these things, feel free to message me and say, I'm implementing them. What do you think? And if something's not working, tell me. And if something is working, I would really like to know, because I really love it when people actually get through. I've had it a few times this week where people will say, I've implemented those things on my Facebook. It really works. And part of me just thinks, well, of course it works. But part of me is like, thank fuck it works. So go away and implement those. Same again next week. I'm in Singapore as you watch this, so I will be giving you updates and telling you about the little journey that I'm on while I'm writing my book. So anything you need, Twitter, #AskDamo, or just come and say hello on Twitter. Time difference is a bit weird in case you can't get hold of me. And if you could do me a favor and just comment or like, you don't have to share it, but comment or like. Just honestly, the difference a like makes is huge. And it makes a difference to you and it makes a difference to me. So don't be stingy with your likes. When you're scrolling up through Facebook, feel free to just keep nodding that like, not just to me, but to everybody, because it just starts to share it. Facebook goes, oh, okay, I'll share this to more people. So don't be stingy with your likes and understand that a like is going to push it out. So feel free to like this, comment. If you're on YouTube, I would really appreciate it if you just hit the subscribe button to my YouTube, because that really is something I want to build on and means a lot. Otherwise, anything you need, give me a shout and I will see you tomorrow.